Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today it's time for one of those big annual events of the year. It's the Mr. Smelly Top 10 Designer Fragrances for Men for Summer list. Before we do that video, I just want to share something really kind of moving. I know I like to have a joke and have some fun on the channel here, but sometimes you've got to be a bit more serious. So this is one of those occasions. As you may well have noticed, we've launched a new fragrance, my brand Naughton and Wilson, this week, Bon Viveur. And we've had a lot of pre-orders, which has been great. There's a link in the description if you'd like to pre-order yours or buy it if you're watching it after the pre-order ends. And we got a request from a would-be customer, and it's a really, really moving story. And I'm not the most emotional person, but this one really moved me, and I'm sure that he won't mind me sharing this story. So I'm going to share with you his story. And his name is Pete Birchwood. And here's this is not a joke. This is actually an email. I'm not making this up. This is actually an email that we did receive at naughtonandwilson.com. Here it is.
Hello. I'm hoping you would offer me a free bottle of Gravitas and Bon Viveur. If you're asking for a reason, then I would say I deserve this because I fell down a well at the weekend and my wallet dropped to the bottom of the well. I had the £200 in it, which was ready to buy these two lovely fragrances, but now I cannot retrieve the wallet as the well is too deep. I just do not know what to do. I know my wallet is never going to come back. It even had a key in it to my shed. Now the lawn cannot be mowed as a result. Will you offer this kindness and give me some goodwill? Thanks, Pete.
Okay, so thank you so much. That was a genuine email, and I spoke to our customer service team at naughtonandwilson.com, and like me, they were moved, and they've actually gone to the extraordinary step. They've actually recorded a video response to Pete.
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a Good day!
So there it is. Okay guys, so welcome back to the show. Top 10 designer fragrances for men, my top 10 best picks for this year, 2021, for the summertime. Before we do that, a little fun extra here. Amazing stuff for me this week because Bon Viveur has arrived. I've been showing you a mock-up bottle. I have the juice in a little atomizer, but I didn't have it in the proper bottle, so I've now got the real thing. And I'm going to show you the unboxing video in 1 second, just a brief one. And if you're interested to pre-order the fragrance at the time of making this video, or of course it will be on sale after that, just follow the link in the description. So here's the unboxing.
nouveaux parfums pourront barnetnaughton et Wilson, parce que la vie est faite pour être appréciée.
So guys, yes, it's finally here. The first time I've actually had the proper product, although I've shown you the bottle, so yeah, there's not so much new to show, but Bon Vivant, lovely box, love it, and the smell is just phenomenal. This is a citrus aromatic fragrance. I mean, these fragrances I'm going to talk about now, designer fragrances for summer, all really great. Does this top them all? Yeah, I wouldn't dare to say that it tops Eau Sauvage from Dior as an all-time classic yet, but I like it just as much. That's the only one in this list it's on a par in my affections with that, right? I am a little bit biased, of course, but I think, you know, it's all down to the perfumer. I'm not really being big-headed when I say this is a stunning, stunning fragrance, and I just am absolutely excited. It's a perfect summer fragrance, actually. It's really nice and fresh. He's really pushed the limits, actually, John Stephen, of how much citrus. I didn't know citrus was limited, but there's a limit on how many citrus oils you can put in a fragrance, and he's pushed that to the absolute max. But there's so much more going on here. I'm going to just quickly give you the note listing now. The top notes are lime, lemon, orange, mandarin, bay, basil and lemongrass. In the mid we have British gin, clove, pepper and watermelon. And the base notes are cedar, patchouli, oak moss and Haitian vetiver. And then you can follow the link in the description to find out more. Let's get on with the video. Top 10 designer fragrances for men, summer 2021. Okay guys, so as ever with my top 10s, no particular order, because I don't think you can be that categorical about which one's actually best, but these are all really, really nice summer fragrances for men. I've got a mixture here, a couple that are actually no longer available, but some modern stuff too, and I've tried to really vary this list up a bit. So let me know what you think of the selections down below. Here we go with the first one. Okay, so I've covered a lot of the main designer fragrance houses, and I think the best one, it was a tough choice, but from Chanel, for me, I think the best summer fragrance, because it's not so commonly worn, I don't think, is Chanel's Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Allure Homme Sport would be a great choice, used to be my signature scent. Sport Cologne is really nice, but it kind of just smells of lemons and stuff, which is good, but not so interesting. Edition Blanche, of course, is a creamy lemon, essentially. It's really nice, kind of fresh bergamot lemon. There are some floral tones in there, and a sort of crisp, white, woody tone underneath it. And the key thing is this slightly sweet and I think slightly sparkling aldehydic kind of thing, and many people say it's a little bit like a meringue, lemon meringue pie or something on your skin, and it has that creamy lemon quality that is absolutely beautiful. Really high quality stuff, as you always get from Chanel, and I'd forgotten about this one for a little while and then revisited my collection to make this video. I think Allure Homme Edition Blanche, average performance, not amazing, but of course summertime, lemony citrus fresh smells, things that sort of counteract any stickiness in the heat, they seem to be what we all want to go for, and I think this would be a great one if you just took one scent on your summer holiday. Allure Homme Edition Blanche would be a pretty darn good choice, so that's my first pick. Okay, next one, we're going to have a discontinued fragrance, sadly. I think it was a 2015 release or something like that, maybe 2014. Aqua Amara from Bulgari. Of course, the Bulgari Aqua range, really famous, and the original is good, and there's Aquamarine and all kinds of great ones, but this may be the standout of the bunch. So the famous kind of pebble on the beach type design, and it's, of course, the name Aqua suggests an aquatic, fresh type of theme, perfect for summer, and this is perhaps their best Aqua, I think, in the lineup. I remember Jeremy Fragrance really hyped this one up years and years ago. So really, really nice juicy citrus melange in the beginning of this fragrance, and then it's got a little bit of added depth. I think there's patchouli and incense or something in the base, and it has this real staying power and a kind of manly, masculine aura about it, as well as a very, very beautiful, crisp, fresh, bright and slightly aquatic, but complex, I think, really, for a designer fragrance. Yeah, pretty complex and great lasting, citrus, fresh, invigorating, happy type of smell. Really, really unique stuff, and I think really getting a little bit tricky to find, but it's not been discontinued for that long, so if you're lucky, you can find it maybe on an online retailer still, or eBay, but I think it could get a little bit hyped up. Used to be almost a bit of a cheapie, but it's worth having a look for if you can find it for a reasonable price. I still love Aqua Amara from Bulgari. Okay, my next selection, I'm going to go back in the annals of time. This was in my last video with Chris from Scentland about best 70s fragrances. I love Eau de Guerlain, 1974 release from perfumer Jean-Paul Guerlain. Classic citrus aromatic fragrance with, again, gorgeous citrus opening notes, but a lot of green aromatic tones in the mid, herbaceous and even spicy tones. A bit of patchouli, I think, in the base, and sandalwood, so some depth and complexity underneath. This really this is a gentlemanly, maybe a little bit more of a mature kind of vibe, but a perfect distinguished gentleman's scent for the whole of the summertime or springtime. You know, great again if you took it on your summer holiday and this was your scent for your nights out with your lady friend, wife, boyfriend, whoever you're going out with in the evening. This would be a superb fragrance for any man or woman. Actually, I think it's pretty unisex, although I think there's something kind of a little bit distinguished and gentlemanly on me when I wear it. Not that I'm giving it the distinguished gentlemanly element, I'll try, but I guess some things smell gentlemanly on a man and still manage to smell womanly and refined on a woman. A woman. Is that right? I don't know. Our skins have different effects on the fragrances, so somebody once told me. But Eau de Guerlain, yes guys, do not neglect this, and Guerlain have so many gems, don't they? And this would be a superb choice. Okay, next up is the house of Givenchy, and they've got some fragrances I'm not bothered about lately, but there are some really good ones in the line, and a recent release from them was Gentleman. What's going on with the lid to that? A few issues with the lid on this one, but never mind. Gentleman Givenchy Cologne. I think it was 2017, 2018 release. And this has a beautiful iris note in the scent, combined with really nice citrus. In that respect, it's a little bit, you could say, maybe reminiscent of a tiny hint of Dior, the 2005 version. Let's just spray a little bit on here. Oh, it's unique. That is superb. So it's got that kind of crisp lemonade, almost transparent freshness, but this beautiful, almost waxy, it's not really a waxy iris in this one, but it's just a perfect iris. Iris is a very distinct note, very hard to describe if you haven't smelled it. Some people say it reminds you of women's lipstick. Oh, there's something so clean and fresh, and I think when you do an iris fragrance, there are lots of heavy ones like Dior Homme Parfum and Intense, but if you combine it with a fresh citrus, it's an absolute standout. So I prefer it to Dior Homme Cologne or a Dior Homme Sport in any of its iterations. Really amazing stuff. Givenchy Gentleman Cologne from Givenchy. I'm going to cheat now, so I'm throwing in one more from Givenchy, so it's going to be 11 in the list. And Eau de Givenchy, oh wow, it is the best Neroli fragrance for the money, I think, out there. I think I got a 100ml bottle for about £38. It seems to be, I would say it's unisex, but maybe they lean in their marketing to expecting women to be the ones to buy it. I'm not sure. It certainly used to be a feminine release from 1980. I think it was not available for a while, re-released. I think it's Francois Demachy. If you just want an amazing Neroli, I think it's got like Neroli, orange blossom, petitgrain, all those bits of the orange plant or whatever, and it just is the perfect rendition of that. As good, easily, to me, as Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford, Shades of Cologne Indelible by Frederic Marbot at a fraction of the price. Very good performance and a superb Neroli if you like your Eau de Cologne style fragrances, your Chanel Eau de Cologne, very expensive, 4,711, very cheap, but doesn't last long. This would be the one to go for, guys. Best Neroli designer, IMHO. Eau de Givenchy by Givenchy. Well, it would be really, wouldn't it? Next up, another kind of real clean, soapy one. Sorry if this is boring, but Mugler Cologne is still stunning. Just the greatest bar of soap ever smell, and I still do enjoy it a lot. I think it's now called Mugler Cologne Come Together. They've got a series of different ones in the line now, but this is the one that's green and it sticks to the original Mugler Cologne scent. So it's now called Mugler Cologne Come Together. A neat trick if you can manage it, and a really beautiful kind of soapy, fresh, bit grassy green little. The very fresh end of vetiver is in there. The very green, leafy or grassy type of vetiver note alongside Neroli, and this hard to define, just beautiful citrus accord. It's the kind of thing. It's like really nice to spray this all over your clothes just when they've nearly finished drying. And you just spray a few sprays of this, and they smell so fresh when you pull on the shirt the next day. Mugler Cologne. Yes, it's not that exciting, but it's really, really good stuff. Okay, my next pick, I'm going back to 1994. Oudoshas. This, I think, was in my non-obvious summer list that I also did recently, and a really, really great fragrance release. It's got a beautiful lemon verbena note. If you like Neroli Sauvage from Creed, which has Neroli, but also a very distinctive and more prominent, I think, lemon verbena element, which is a part of the lemon plant. This captures that beautifully. It's got also really nice kind of just a hint of subtle vetiver and some crisp woods in the base. Not really an aquatic tone really with this one, but more of a classic citrus aromatic, a little bit reminiscent of things like Eau de Guerlain too. I think a kind of a gentlemanly citrus, gorgeous vibe, and quite a distinctive and not a 90s smell. but a timeless classic, and I wish that people came out with fragrances this good often still today. Love the bottle design, and Oudoshas, very affordable fragrance from the underrated sometimes house of Oudoshas. Okay, so a few classics in here, but I'm going to do a guilty pleasure now. Guilty pleasure, because it's a tacky bottle. It's a kind of a tacky synthetic smell, but if you could track down Invictus Aqua, the 2016 version, I do think there's just something, it's a real shower gel synthetic, young guy smell. Everything in a way I don't normally gravitate towards. I don't really like the original Invictus or many other of the bubblegum-esque Paco Rabanne ones, but sometimes, just for fun, I do enjoy spraying Invictus Aqua, now hard to find sadly and overhyped a bit and expensive on eBay. The 2016 one in this kind of bottle, with the pale colour, is what you want to get if you can. It is fun. It's a fun, freshy, guilty pleasure for me. The modern version doesn't suck actually. It's in a more bluey coloured bottle. I have that too. But if I'm in the mood for that vibe, then I'll go for the original and best, which just has a little bit more of a, I think there's a yuzu note, that important note that was also in L'Odyssée from Issey Miyake years ago, and that's a real distinctive Japanese citrus, very sharp. I don't think the modern one has that so much. It is good, but don't tell anyone I like it. Okay guys, so we're going back for 1995 release now. Tommy for Men from Tommy Hilfiger. Thanks to Chris from Scentland turning me on to this one. Amazing cheapie, just simple, fresh yet fruity. I think it's citrus. It's very much a citrus aromatic, but there's a little bit of sort of fruitiness and spiciness because there's cinnamon in this one. A real kind of high school classic in the 90s and 2000s. Many of you in the USA will have this as maybe your first scent that you wore a lot when you were 15, 16, 17, 18 in high school or whatever. And you know what? It's not one that you get excited about because it's cheap. The bottle's not that exciting. Tommy Hilfiger, it's not really the kind of, it's not like Chanel, is it? I mean, no offense to the brand, but it's sort of more of a shopping mall brand, dare I say, than a proper designer house. But this fragrance is really good. Crisp, fun, affordable, fresh and fruity, a young vibe. If you're wearing a nice polo shirt, Ralph Lauren polo shirt, Lacoste, pale coloured, pink, white, spray a load of this on. It's just great to go down the shops with. I'll hang out with your buddies at the mall and smell great. Tommy for Men by Tommy Hilfiger. Okay, so I wanted to include the classic of all time, Eau Sauvage from Dior, an inspiration amongst many other things for our own Bon Vivant, but they're not massively similar. But the original Eau Sauvage from Dior is a stunning citrus fragrance. I know there's a Eau Sauvage cologne. My TV just came on, what the f***? Why does it do that? I'm just going to carry on there, I'll bleep that out. Yeah. 1966 release. I know there's Eau Sauvage Cologne, which is more, I mean, this is already very fresh and cologne-y, so I don't know, but that is actually really good, but even more citrusy. This, I like the complexity because it has beautiful citrus, kind of a jasmine hedione thing in the mid, which is really nice. Vetiver in the base, and it was kind of the Aventus of its day, the all-round fresh woody masculine fragrance. It really works well. I've taken it on summer holidays to Gran Canaria once or twice, and it really works in the daytime or the nighttime. Any time is the right time for Dior's Eau Sauvage. I do say if you can track down the vintage one, then you really should with a non-magnetic cap, but the modern version is okay. You'll have to spray more, and it lacks the real oak moss in proportions that the OG has, and that gives it a little bit more grip, a little bit more staying power, and a little bit more je ne sais quoi. It really is hard to beat this with any release that ever comes out, and we could almost have just stopped men's fragrances there, and we'd still have a great way to smell amazing. But thankfully we've had loads more since then, but it's still great. Eau Sauvage, perfect for summertime, and one of my top 4 or 5 all-time favourite fragrances ever. Okay, finalement, we have D&G Dolce & Gabbana Masculine. Your struggle to find it, I'm really sorry. Dua Fragrances have just brought out a clone of this, so good for them. I've just received it, and I'm going to put it on screen. I think it's called Dua's Masculinity. I'm going to be doing a video about that and a couple of other new ones from them soon. So D&G Masculine, 1999 release, and it's a citrus aromatic, really, really nice crisp vetiver in the base with your typical lemon kind of notes, and this muskiness, there's a kind of spiciness to extent too, and a really, really fantastic, bold, it does smell manly. Bit of a 90s vibe, but I do really enjoy masculine, and people always go on about Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme or By Man as the kind of old vintage ones, but masculine was kind of underrated and is really, really nice. And I always kind of think, you know, it makes me feel like I never knew this in the 90s and it only came out at the very end. So, or let's say in the early 2000s. I had a great holiday once in about 2004. That's probably when this was on the shelves and easy to find. And I didn't wear this. I wore Chanel L'Homme Sport with a really nice girl who, shortly after that, it kind of came that she wanted me to move in and, you know, do all the rest of the stuff that would come next. I was in my late 20s and she would probably want to, you know, get married and have kids, and I was just scared off by that. So that was the end of that. But just before that, the heavy stuff came in. We had a couple of good months before I got commitmentophobia, and I remember that holiday well. And that was a time when this kind of thing was out there. Really nice, fresh, simple, masculine, youthful smell. And I wish I was that youthful again, and I'm really sorry to that girl. D&G masculine, I love it. Can you find it? Maybe. If not, check out the Dior one. I'm going to do a review on that soon. Those were my top 10 picks for summertime. Let me know what you thought about them in the comments down below, and anything else you'd like to say. Remember, guys, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. Bye-bye.